Hello everybody, I've got some exciting news. We are in the process of launching a faith-based credit union, and so we'd like to welcome you to fill out a survey that is going to be used in the application process. You can go to revivaltoday.com/credit union and fill that out. And thanks ahead of time for filling it out and being a part of this great journey in the world of finance.
This is Jonathan Shuttlesworth. The prayer that Jesus left us with was to pray for laborers to go out into the harvest field. If there's one thing this last school shooting showed us, if there was ever a time that America needed a new generation of workers in the harvest field, it's now. That's why we're raising up those ministers and workers at Revival Today Bible Institute. Our inaugural class is this September. If you've been moved recently in your spirit that I want to do something to affect my generation for eternity, this is the place to come and get trained. We start this September. You can apply today at revivaltodaybibleinstitute.com. I want you to join this army that God's raising up. The devil's not going to write the last chapter of your generation. You and many others are going to get raised up in the power of the Holy Spirit, go forth with the Word of God, and take one more run with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Will you join us? Apply today, revivaltodaybibleinstitute.com, and I'll see you this fall.
Byron!
The transitions.
I love it. Love it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market. Wayne from Guatemala. Sandra, Diane, Carl, Ninja, Michael. Good morning, everybody. Make sure you share the broadcast. Thank you. Scott, good morning. Strongsville Christian Church, good morning to you. Leslie.
Feels very strange.
Jason, good morning.
Very strange without the sound in the background, eh? It's like
Is that
I'm waiting. I was like, what is going on? What is? Oh, mics aren't on. Oh,
Thanks, Mike.
thanks for letting us know. There we go. Ninja, that's all that matters. As long as you hear me, that's all that matters. Right, Patrick?
Bethany.
Your mic is off.
Check, check. Check, check. Probably coming through your mic. All right,
Well,
take it away.
such is life. Let's check the news. LOL, from the recount, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says, I think we now understand better how little we understand about inflation. This is just really embarrassing, so go for it. Roll it.
One way to say it would be, I think we now understand better how little we understand about inflation.
That's not very reassuring.
No, honestly, this was unpredicted. I was looking at our at the time of our June meeting 1 year ago, of the 35 people who filed with a survey of professional forecasters, 34 of them had inflation below 4% for last year. And of course, it was way above 4%.
I'm no economic expert.
No.
We're going to have to share a mic here. But even I know that this was not, you could see this a mile away.
Oh, for sure. We were talking about this last year. How can you not see this? I don't have an economics degree. I don't have a doctorate from Harvard. If you print money, you get inflation. It's been like that throughout history. How do you not understand that? What school did he go to? I want to
Look that one up. I think it's just a joke. It's all just a big fat joke. I digress. You went to Princeton?
Princeton, that explains it.
Next. Friends creator pledges $4 million to atone for lack of black leads on the series. They're her own form of reparations.
Check.
Oh, there we go. You're back. Okay. Her own form of reparations because there's just a bunch of white people on Friends. So, decades later. I don't know why people do this. I don't know why people do this. But here we are. Next. Next? Cool. Peter McCullough. This month, the World Council for Health, which represents 70 bodies worldwide, has called for a global recall of the jabs. Take it away, sir.
This month, the World Council for Health, which represents 70 bodies worldwide, has called for a global recall of all vaccines because worldwide, 40,000 deaths that these safety databases across the world, 40,000 in the big ones, VAERS, the yellow card system, the VigiSafe, and the UDRA system. 40,000 deaths with the vaccines. Unacceptably high. Typical standard for any biologic product is 50 deaths, pull it off the market. Something's gone wrong. 50, not 40,000. So when there is a global recall by an international organization, this committee ought to be having emergency meetings. What are we going to do? A worldwide body has called for these to pull off the market. They're still giving it. You just heard from the pharmacy director ahead of me. He's still giving them out. When there's a worldwide recall, there should be some committee meeting so you have it down. I mean, you can tell something is going wrong here, that we're in trouble in terms of vaccine safety. Dr. Malone has covered vaccine efficacy, which is largely waned. I will just tell you that the CDC told us as of December 10th, 2021, with the Omicron strain, 79% of people with Omicron were fully vaccinated. That is prima facie evidence that the vaccines have completely failed against Omicron.
This was news to me that the Global Alliance actually came out and said that there needed to be a recall.
Yeah.
Of all of them, not just some of them, all of them. Them purebloods are grinning today. Next. Trudeau did this. Go for it. I have been to Toronto Pearson Airport on several occasions. I have never seen something like this before.
It was the same when I came back from Ethiopia. It was like that.
It was like that?
Washington, D.C. Yeah.
I've been
It's
there too.
because-
What the heck?
It's
Really?
because they only have like 2 or 3 people working the desk for
Right. Each
border
airline.
patrol.
Oh.
And
For
so
border
the
control?
so the line is way backed up. So the baggage line gets way backed up, and
Yep.
then they had to like remove all of the bags
Oh
so that
my
it could
gosh.
keep going.
Really? Dang. That's impressive. I would hate to be flying in this year.
And
That's
they were all like
terrible.
stressed. And then I told them
Well,
I had
yeah.
coffee, so they sent me for interrogation.
No, people just look at you and go,
Whatever.
interrogate.
I guess.
He'd be fun to, yeah, never mind. Carry on. Next. From David Abner in Canada. If you get one of these absurd tickets, please contact me for a free consultation. From Ottawa Bylaw, please be advised a number of fine amounts have been increased so as to ensure a safe and respectful Canada Day. Unusual noise.
That could be anything.
Literally, and that's why they did it. Some of the other ones I kind of get, but even so, I wanted to point out the idling is interesting because unless you are a resident of Ottawa or you're going downtown for business, you're not allowed to drive down there anymore, or in and around Canada Day, because the government, there's this gentleman who has a veteran who walked across Canada arriving Canada Day in Ottawa at the nation's capital, and they're going to be celebrating. All these pro-freedom people are going to be celebrating because he walked this in defiance of the vax mandates by the feds. And so the city of Ottawa, and the feds, because it's a government city, they're all like, this is horrible. So Ottawa bylaw, you need to come up with a bunch of stupid rules and fines for people. And this is why, to crack down. But the idling is you can't drive a car. Certain people are going to be denied access in and around the grounds of the Capitol. So it's just all just dumb. Just dumb. You would be surprised, Bethany, in Canada. You'd be surprised. Next. The real story yesterday was the FDA granting Pfizer and all other big pharma companies the right to alter their drug makeups without clinical trials. By a 19-2 vote, the FDA approved a motion to avoid...
Question.
Continue.
Commas.
Clinical trials by stating the evaluation of modified vaccines for the purpose of vaccine strain composition decisions will need to rely mainly on comparative immunogenicity data due to the time constraints involved in vaccine manufacturing and clinical efficacy evaluation. Just further proof is just about the money. So there you go. Next. Epic language at the end warranted from Edward Snowden. The fact that is considered legal for a corporation to compile perfect records of your private life simply because you had to click OK to continue to make your phone work is a perfect expression of who holds the power in society and why they should be cast into the sea. Kind of fighting words there, but I thought it was a good point.
No, it is a good point.
It's a good point. Next, for the amount of people who don't actually read the things that they're agreeing to, pay attention. The U.S. is providing $55 million in aid to Afghanistan for earthquake relief. Who do you think gets their blood-stained hands on that cash first? And we wonder why we always lose. Have you heard about this? No. Every single time I used to
track... I heard
there
was an earthquake there, but I didn't know that the U.S. was sending money.
Oh, of course they are. U.S. sends money everywhere. Well, same with Canada, everyone else. But who's in charge of Afghanistan right now?
The Taliban?
Mm-hmm. How dumb. How dumb. Like, you could be first year into the first month of your first year of foreign service and not be this stupid to make this decision.
They're going to send them spare parts, too, for all the helicopters they left there.
Yeah, that's aid. Next. So Canadian government agency has enlisted a government-funded anti-hate group to coach teachers in how to sanction students who exhibit problematic, i.e. right-of-center political tendencies. From Jamie Sarkonak. This federally funded education toolkit says teachers should address students who support problematic politicians and policies. Way to undermine freedom of expression, supporting border control is not the same thing as invoking a hateful salute. Continue. So here are some of the examples that they use to target students. A student argues in favor of a problematic politician or policy. Example, Trump's wall in a classroom discussion. A student asks why there aren't any straight pride parades or a White History Month during class discussion. The student uses a racist trope, slur, or historically racist revision in class discussion. Or they use...
Who does that? Why would
I
they
don't
even
know.
put in there? What student does a Hitler salute in class? Are you kidding me? That's like unacceptable on all levels. Like, why would you do that?
But I think it's the like these are all in the same category of
I see,
bad.
that's what they're trying to do.
Like these are all bad. But you bring up border security, it's not the same thing as like showing support for Hitler's ideology.
It's not.
But they're putting in the same category. Continue. Oh, and it gets better. The anti-hate group is led by the same guy who spread the fake news about an anti-Semitic flyer that he claimed his unnamed friend saw being distributed in Ottawa. This is during the Freedom Convoy earlier in the year. Wow, Bernie, isn't it incredible that the picture your friend in Ottawa at the occupation sent you is identical to the photo posted on Twitter 2 weeks ago by someone in Miami, right down on the ceramic design in the back. Ceramic? Whatever, design in the background. So there you go. So the same guy is spreading a bunch of phooey. Continue. Oh, lovely. They give teachers tips on how to dunk on students who value free speech, your tax dollars at work. So they address this by equating support for problematic policy with shouting fire in a crowded theater, and then categorize ideological dissenters as morally repugnant. So down below, it says, in addition to falling under the same category as shouting fire is the free speech issue. They bring up this same stupid talking point all the time. Like that free speech is equated to yelling fire in a crowded theater. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, there you go. Continue.
Being a true contrarian investor and outsmarting Wall Street takes more than just going against the crowd. Pick one solid market sentiment measure to anchor your base case, then follow it. Genuine contrarians are rare on Wall Street. When blood is running in the streets, to quote that famous and genuine contrarian Nathan Rothschild, hardly anyone wants to buy. That's when you want to buy, when nobody wants to buy anymore. This is worth remembering now, since seemingly everyone on Wall Street has become a latter-day contrarian, claiming to detect the widespread bearishness that justifies a contrarian buy signal. By definition, not everyone can be a contrarian. When a genuine contrarian buy signal is eventually triggered, few will believe it or follow it. One of the best descriptions of a true contrarian comes from the British economist and philosopher John Maynard Keynes, who I don't like. For it is in the essence of his behavior that he should be eccentric, unconventional, and rash in the eyes of average opinion. If he is successful, that will only confirm the general belief in his rashness, and if in the short run he is unsuccessful, which is very likely, he will not receive much mercy. Worldly wisdom teaches that it's better for a reputation to fail conventionally than to succeed unconventionally. No wonder there are so few genuine contrarians. So when I read this article, I was thinking of Warren Buffett. Because even I myself was starting to believe like he's lost his touch, right? He's done, because over the past couple of years, the stock market went up, crazy, and he wasn't making that great of returns.
Right.
But who's laughing now? Because he's making returns now when everybody else isn't, because he's not investing in companies that have zero revenue and the stock price is $1,200 per share. So he's just steady when it comes to investing, which is why he's successful and why he's one of the wealthiest men in the world. So I thought that was interesting. Let's keep going with it.
Markets are open.
Markets are open. And the Dow Jones is down 331 points, NASDAQ down 135, and the S&P is down 39, down about 1% on all indices. Markets are getting hammered. They were hammered yesterday too. Let's see what's going on with cryptocurrencies, shall we? Take the prices off. Oh no, here we go. Cryptocurrencies down about 4% over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is down 19,205. Ethereum down 1,028, down 7% on Ethereum.
Whew.
BNB is down to 210. XRP 31 cents. Cardano 45 cents. Solana $32. Dogecoin 6.4 cents. Shiba is up 0.00010. Avalanche down 6.71% to $16 per AVAX. I traded AVAX. I made some money on them. Not too bad. Buy the dip. Nah, I'm just kidding. Bitcoin's going to go down a little bit more probably before there's a good buying opportunity there. A lot of people think that it's going to be right around 11,000, like 10 to 11,000 is where we're going to see the bottom on it. So we'll see if this is now the, the leg down where we're going to see those prices. All right, next. US FCC commissioner wants Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores.
I'm so excited about this.
Let's see it. A leader of the U.S. Federal Communications Commission said he has asked Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores over China-related data security concerns. The wildly popular short video app is owned by Chinese company ByteDance, which faced U.S. scrutiny under President Donald Trump. Brendan Carr, one of the FCC commissioners, shared via Twitter a letter to Apple CEO Tim Cook and Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai. The letter pointed to reports and other developments that made TikTok non-compliant with the two companies' App Store policies. Continue. TikTok is not what it appears to be on the surface. It's not just an app for sharing funny videos or meme. That's the sheep's clothing, he said in the letter. At its core, TikTok functions as a sophisticated surveillance tool that harvests extensive amounts of personal and sensitive data. Alphabet, Apple, and TikTok did not immediately respond to CNBC requests for comment. Carr's letter, dated June 24th on FCC letterhead, said if the Apple and Alphabet do not remove TikTok from their app stores, they should provide statements to him by July 8th. The statement should explain the basis of your company's conclusion that the surreptitious access of private and sensitive U.S. user data by persons located in Beijing, coupled with TikTok's pattern of misleading representation and conduct, does not run afoul of any of your App Store policies, which I'm sure it does. Continue. TikTok is not just another video app, that's the sheep's clothing. It harvests swaths of sensitive data that new reports show are being accessed in Beijing. I've called on Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores for its pattern of that word data practices. Continue. So yeah, there we go. So we'll see what happens. We'll follow this.
Oh, yes, we will.
Oracle, the last paragraph, on June 17th, same day as the BuzzFeed report, TikTok announced it was routing all U.S. user traffic to Oracle Cloud infrastructure and was moving U.S. users' private data from its own data centers in the U.S. and Singapore to Oracle Cloud servers in the U.S. that they can still access, but still, it'll be housed in the U.S. company's servers. That is true. WhatsApp does the same thing. All companies do that. They all harvest your information. That's why those companies are so valuable, because they can sell that information and then make money for marketing purposes or, things like that. TikTok has a very sophisticated algorithm. I mean, it figured me out in like 10 minutes, and I was laughing for 4 hours. Just dad joke after dad joke after dad joke. Next. Walgreens beats sales expectations as retail growth helps offset the steep drop in COVID vaccines. See it? Walgreens Boots Alliance on Thursday reported quarterly sales and earnings that came in above expectations as its retail sales bounced back and online purchases grew, but shares were down about 2% pre-market trading as demand for COVID-19 vaccines faded, and the company reiterated rather than raise its forecast for the year. It said it expects adjusted earnings per share to grow by the low single digits. So Walgreens is just the next one that is not adjusting their expectations. Restoration Hardware just lowered their expectations. I think we're going to see some good sales fairly soon. Next. We can go to the next one. Bitcoin falls below 19,000 again as pressure mounts on crypto firms. Let's see it. Bitcoin on Thursday briefly fell below 19,000 as the world's largest digital currency remains under pressure from macroeconomic worries and a liquidity crisis among high-profile crypto companies. Bitcoin was trading at 19,143.50 at around 6:10 a.m., down 4% from 24 hours before. Its all-time high was 68,990. Bitcoin continues to be under pressure as other assets are. The mix of high inflation, rising interest rates, and recession weigh on cryptocurrencies. I wonder if it has anything to do with the Fed removing liquidity from the market. Yves Longchamp, head of research at digital asset-focused SEBA Bank, told CNBC via email. Global stock markets remain under pressure, with the S&P 500 in the U.S. on track for its worst first half of the year since 1970. Thanks, Joe Byron. Bitcoin has been closely correlated to the movement of equity indexes, and in particular the NASDAQ. Stocks have been under pressure, which has weighed on the price of Bitcoin. Which, and I stand corrected, I didn't think that cryptocurrencies in the stock market were gonna, move in the same direction. I thought that if the stock market goes down, cryptocurrencies go up, because I thought that it would move, it's like a safe haven for your money if the stock market goes down.
Right.
But it ends up just being the exact same thing. So, yeah. Next.
Live and learn.
Recommendation. I've been buying Bitcoin a little bit every month. So, as it's tanking, I've been buying. But I think that it's going to go down a little bit more. I've been watching a bunch of videos on it, and I think that a lot of experts are saying, Bitcoin experts, crypto experts are saying that between 10 and 11,000 is where we could see the bottom. Possibly. This could be Kramer's fault. I haven't checked his tweets lately.
We're just going to say it is because you know what? At some point in time, he would have said that.
Next. So I thought this was interesting. Side hustles. A 28-year-old spent $8,000 setting up an Airbnb tent near her Hawaiian volcano, and it now earns her $28,000 per year. There's some side hustle ideas right there.
Way to go.
When Kihau Hall set up her Airbnb glamping tent in 2014, she didn't think twice about it being roughly 10 minutes away from volcanoes. She's used to their unpredictability, so on and so forth. Hall's glamping tent is in the Glenwood neighborhood of Mountain View, Hawaii, about 12 miles from the heart of the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, which has 2 active volcanoes. Her inspiration for creating an Airbnb site was simple. She says she saw a photo of a glamping tent in a magazine and thought it would be a unique way for mainlanders to experience Hawaii. Continue. She spent less than $300 on the tent and roughly $8,000 on amenities like a kitchen, an outdoor shower, and a king-size mattress. Now the property, which Hall says requires about 10 to 15 hours of work per week, earns her $28,000 per year in revenue. Not too bad for 10 to 15 hours a week in work. Those earnings represent a sliver of the highly competitive tourism industry in 2019. So now it costs about $70 per night. I just thought this was interesting. So
That's
pretty
cool.
good, right?
That's really cool. Yeah.
Side hustle ideas there. If you have a nice backyard, put up a tent, glamping tent.
There you go.
If you live in, West Virginia, North Carolina, anywhere in the Appalachian Mountains,
Appalachian?
however you say it.
Those big mountains.
The Appalachians.
Rock.
Then you got a great view out your backyard. Boom, put up a tent, $28,000 a year.
Cool.
Next. Here's how far oil could fall in a recession, judging by past experiences.
Oh, joy.
Let's see it. The miserable first half in financial markets comes to an end on Thursday. Oh, the first half. Okay, I get it. It's like, what are you talking about? Is he saying the market's going to go up from here? No, just the first half of the year. The S&P 500 has dropped 20%. Government bonds have been no cushion with the S&P U.S. government bonds, and so on and so forth. Let's get to the meat of the thing here. The only major asset that has really gained ground this year is energy, with oil surging 45%. So the call of the day goes to Dhaval Joshi, chief strategist for BCA, who says oil prices will halve to $55.
What?
What he calls the everything sell-off in 2022 has its parallels back to 1981. Back then, oil producers Iraq and Iran, or Iraq and Iran, were at war, just as commodity producers Russia and Ukraine are fighting today. And the Federal Reserve responded with aggressive interest rate hikes. Joshi points out that there have never been a recession in which oil prices did not collapse, even in the stagflationary 1970s, as they fell 25% in 1974. The declines are particularly steep since oil prices also tend to rise ahead of slowdowns, tipping already fragile economies into recession. Continue. So there's the all the different crashes. 74, 81, the Black Swan, 1990, 91, tech crash, 2000, the housing crisis, 2008, 2015. That was just a slowdown. 2020. Next. ADP says it'll pause its private sector employment report as it retools its survey. I thought this was very interesting. ADP says it's going to halt the release of its private sector employment report as it retools the report to make it a more robust, high-frequency view of the labor market and trajectory of economic growth. The report has been criticized for not being a good predictor of what the Labor Department reports in its employment report, that it's typically issued 2 days after the ADP survey. ADP says it's targeted August 31st to introduce the new ADP National Employment Report and said it'll work with the Stanford Digital Economy Lab on the project. Interesting. David said Bitcoin is now below 19,000. Let's take a look.
Yeesh.
And yes, it is.
What's it at?
18,937, and Ethereum is at 1,005, so it's almost back under $1,000. Next.
Wow.
Michael Jordan said, "You miss 99% of the shots you take. The rest 1% become billionaires." Nice. Next. Which is a lot of money.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
It is.
I just wasn't expecting that.
It is. Have you ever looked into it?
I have, not extensively, but I know there's people who do.
Millions.
Millions.
Millions for a single fish
Yes.
that they have spent hundreds of thousands in their backyard on to make sure that the temperature of the water and the oxidation and all of these things, is that how you say it, oxidation?
Oxidation, yeah.
Is just right for that fish to survive. Because if it changes just half a degrees, then that $1 million fish will die.
Dead.
But yeah.
Stir fry that sucker up.
For a fish, yes.
For a fish.
Look it up. If you Google most expensive koi fish or something like that, in Japan, it's crazy.
Gerald knows. Gerald's like the
That is true.
fish
Gerald
guy.
has some koi fish, not $1 million ones,
No.
not yet. Next. Rolex and Patek returns beat vintage cars in Bitcoin. So if you want to make some real money investing, buy some luxury watches. After bull run, luxury watch prices started to soften. They are starting to soften. They were down about 30% last I checked overall. I don't know how Patek's doing or some of the other big ones. S&P down 1%. Gold 2.7, Bitcoin 22.1, Netflix 60%. Look at that. Subdial 50, watches up 40%, but it's still down for this year. Cars are up 21%. Next. There we go. Look at that. A koi fish can be worth millions. The most expensive koi fish ever sold was worth $1.8 million for a single fish. Koi are a type of carp, common fish that can be found all over the world, but what makes koi so special is their coloring and their lineage.
Lineage?
Lineage.
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 The lineage almost sounds like cartilage.
That's the Queen Elizabeth right there of a fish. How long should an asset like a watch stay in a safe before you sell it? Wilson, I would wear it. I wouldn't keep it in a safe.
Why hide it away?
But, if you buy one just for investments, there's people that bought when was it? Back in 2014, they were buying, 2015, 2016, they were buying these watches, and they sold them last year, and they made huge returns on them.
Really?
Because everybody was flush with COVID cash and whatnot.
Right.
So they were buying watches.
Interesting.
Look at the YouTube videos. Look at what some of these people that are just like YouTube bloggers spent on watches. Richard Mills, Pateks,
Really?
$250,000, $300,000, $500. Yeah.
Dang.
That you could have bought, a couple of years before then, you probably could have bought the same watch for, $60,000, $50,000, $40,000.
Wow.
That is a great watch. The Casio calculator watch. I had one of those. Next. Tech stocks are having their worst year ever. Here's what history says happens next. By Jared Blickery. 5 minutes. All right, let's skim it. Let's see what we got. Grayscale sues U.S. SEC for rejecting its Bitcoin ETF application. I don't understand why the SEC does this, because it accepts some, but it doesn't accept others. So, because it doesn't meet their standards. What are your standards, Gary Gensler? Let's see real quick. Grayscale Investments said on Wednesday that it sued the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission after the regulator rejected the digital asset manager's proposal to list a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. The SEC had said that Grayscale's proposal to list the ETF did not meet the standard designed to prevent fraudulent practices and protect investors. We don't need protection from the SEC. If regulators are comfortable with the ETFs that hold derivatives of a given asset, they should logically be comfortable with ETFs that hold that same asset, Grayscale said, referring to the SEC's approval of ETFs based on Bitcoin futures. Grayscale, one of the world's biggest digital asset managers, had proposed creating the ETF as a conversion of its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, which we've had on here before. I'm actually invested in that one. It was seeking to get the ETF listed on the New York Stock Exchange, ARCA, which is owned by Intercontinental Exchange. So they said no. But we'll see. This lawsuit could have, some wide implications in the crypto market if it goes the way of Grayscale. Next. Oh, that's it? That was the last one. All right. Stocks to research. So from my list to buy, I had AMD listed on there. AMD is now down over 50% from its 52-week high, bringing it closer to where I'd like to buy into the stock. So I'm looking at putting some money into AMD. Yesterday, Shopify had a stock split, 10-to-1 stock split. Shopify has seen an 82% drop since its high at the end of last year. 82%.
82?
That's cryptocurrency drops right there.
Dang.
Just had a stock split of 10-to-1. This could potentially be a buying opportunity, or we're getting close to a buying opportunity on this stock. I don't think Shopify is going anywhere. A lot of people use Shopify for, their stores, businesses use it, So I don't think Shopify is going anywhere. I think this is still a good company to invest in. But there are a couple questions that I have that I need to research some more. How will this stock fare in a potential recession? Can they continue to expand with more competition in the market? But Shopify is down 82%.
That's crazy.
There has been some buying. A couple of investors are beginning to dip their toes into the water with these kind of stocks like Shopify, the stocks that soared during the lockdowns, like Shopify, Upstart. Upstart, I think, is down like 90% or something like that. Yeah, a whole bunch of them.
Wow.
So that could be a potential buy for me there. Shopify, take a look at it. SHOP, and AMD is AMD. Then I had somebody tell me to take a look at CHD, Church and Dwight.
I think that was
Church
Sandra.
and Dwight is the parent company of Arm & Hammer, which I use their products. Currently, I don't think I would invest in this company right now. They're trading around $92 a share. Beginning of this month, they were trading at $80 a share. So that's a pretty good return. So Sandra, if you are in it, I would take a look and see if there's some profits you can take there. Because remember, in a market environment like this, what's the baseball analogy? You want to hit singles, not home runs? Is that what they keep saying? Right?
I don't
Whatever
know.
it is.
Whatever it is. What he said.
Anyways, you know, if you get 5%, 7% return on a stock, that's great. Don't wait till it goes up 100%, 200%, like some of my friends on Wall Street Bets, who are now down. You know, there was one guy I saw, it was like $10,000 he had in his Robinhood account. He was up to $300,000 at one point, and now he's down to $1,000. So yes.
That would be horrible.
If you ever get a chance to go on Wall Street Bets, they've got some interesting like charts on there where
I'll go look.
where they'll show that, you know, how much money people have made and
Yeah.
then how they've lost it within the span of like a week. It's all gone.
Really? Oh, that's horrible.
Home runs are better, that is true, but oh yes, AMD. I'm referring to the processing company. Yes. So yeah, they're fairly highly valued, Church and Dwight, compared to the overall market. And so, you know, if the market keeps going up, this company could bring a couple more percentage points of return. But I'm not too sure about this being like a, you know, a potential for a long-term hold. Yes, 1.14% dividend return, not too great. But like I said, if you did buy it in the beginning of June, you're doing very well. But right now, I would not. For the long term, yes. If you're looking at that one for the long term, that it's a good one because they've got a lot of good, solid brands that, you know, people are buying. Arm & Hammer is a great brand that people are buying and people will continue to buy. So if it is a long-term hold, then yes. For short-term, I don't see it, you know, giving you any home runs anytime soon. All right, well, that was it for today. AMD, Shopify, and CHD. That's a good question, Diane. If you haven't downloaded the Revival Today app, do so now and sign up. You can watch us on there as well. She just said that why don't all the YouTubers come over to the app? There you go. Make sure you download the Revival Today app. And if you'd like to invest in Revival Today, you can do that now. Here are the ways that you can do that. revivaltoday.com/give, and you'll find all the ways to do that there. #donate on Facebook. You can text to give, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We also accept cryptocurrencies. There you go. Scan that QR code. If there's any that you would like to give that you don't see there, 412-446-2332. And you can also give by mail. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. What are we doing for an offer today? Economics in one lesson. We'll get to send that to you as a way of saying thank you. We're doing well on the survey, but I still want to get some more surveys. Star Peak Mining Company. I'll take a look at it. Jason, I wasn't on for on Tuesday and Wednesday. There it is, revivaltoday.com/credit union. Fill out the survey. That'll help us in our application process. Yes, Sharon, I saw your comment. I'll Star Peak Mining Company. I'll take a look at it for you. Safe Moon, yes. Safe Moon is safe. Great investment. I'm just kidding, by the way. All right, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back again tomorrow. Go out there and make some money today, and we'll see you.